Hello class and welcome to week 8 of cognitive psychology. This lecture video will serve the purpose as to reviewing mainly your capstone project, which is due on Friday, the 24th. So just be aware of that by midnight. I want you guys to be aware of that so you aren't missing points on your capstone assignments. Any late assignments will not be accepted. So I do want you guys to avoid not passing the class. So make sure you get those submitted on time. Another thing I want to discuss too is, as I mentioned in the previous week's lecture video, I am still offering extra credit for those of you that send me a screenshot of your completed eval. So if you get that done, you'll have a little bit of extra credit there. And lastly, like I said, this video will just focus on the capstone project because it is the most major assignment for this week. And I want you guys to have all the information that you need on the assignment. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So of course for this week you will have to read chapter 12, and that's over reasoning and decision making. You'll also have this attached article to read, as well as a lecture video. So I just realized that I submitted your week 7 video in your week 8 week. So I do apologize for that, and I'm sure some of you did not notice that. So I will shoot out an email to you guys just letting you know about the extra credit and things like that. Because I did discuss that in week 7. So I do apologize. And also too, just a reminder that I have sent you guys the link for completing your evals. So do remember to get those completed prior to the end of the course as well. So moving forward, like I mentioned before, this week is only focusing on your capstone. And you will have to submit that in 2 separate sections. Throughout the learning module, it will show you how to complete that. But in terms of the assignment of course is overall it's designed to assess your understanding of the material throughout the course. You'll analyze specific elements in terms of the concepts of cognitive psychology and its value for your personal environment, your life, and your society. And also you will also analyze concepts of sensation and memory, as well as interpreting real life scenarios, analyzing the concepts of language, and also real life scenarios. So it's kind of like adding and incorporating every single assignment that you've done for this course within one final project. So in order to pass this assignment or pass this course, you must pass this assignment with a 70% or more in order to pass this course. And I mentioned this before. So say for instance you've made A's all up until this assignment and you don't submit your capstone, or you submit it late, you will not pass this course. So it's very critical for your score, not only for the course, but to pass the course and for your GPA. So this assignment needs to be an 18-slide PowerPoint presentation, and not including your reference page and your title slide. So in total, there should be 18 slides, but the bulk of the assignment should be no less than 16 slides. And like I mentioned before, it can be more than 18 slides total. I just want to make sure that you guys are meeting that minimum requirement and also elaborating so much more on your assignments than you have before in previous assignments, because this is a final and important presentation. And I also want to point out that in each PowerPoint slide, there needs to contain at least a minimum of 5 to 6 bullet points of content and complete sentences. It's not just memory is da-da-da. It needs to be a more thorough analysis and more explanation in terms of each component. And also, as a reminder too, please follow, the guidelines for APA. So if you are having your sources included in your text, which you should be sure that you are citing your sources within the bullet points or even at the bottom of your PowerPoint slide. And every single slide should have a APA formatted citation. So just a reminder. So the guideline for this is following in vignette. So it is: assume you have a child in elementary school and you are an active member of the Parent-Teacher Association. Many people know you and know that you are studying psychology. Other parents and teachers often approach you and want your opinion about cognitive psychological issues they are noticing with their children or students. For example, a second grade teacher recently asked you for your opinion about a student who consistently struggles with attention. Another teacher recently asked you for your advice about a fifth grade student whose speech and language skills seem delayed. A fellow parent has an elderly family member who suddenly seems incapable of making decisions or solving basic daily problems. To help the elementary school PTA with these types of questions and concerns, you will create a PowerPoint slideshow. The slideshow will provide an overview of cognitive psychology and how it applies to a variety of situations. Details about the requirements are provided below. And also, too, I want you to think about it in terms of this. Say, for instance, you are doing this presentation. I want you to make the presentation as understandable as it would be as if you were sending the presentation to someone else to present. So, say, for instance, if you couldn't make the PTA meeting and you send it to one of your fellow colleagues or one of the fellow PTA members, if they are able to present this presentation fully with the presentation that you have given them without you having any prior knowledge, then that would be the amount of information that I'm wanting you guys to present in your presentation. So just think in those terms. So if you send a PowerPoint presentation with a few words on it, are they going to be able to fully express and share that detailed information with the PTA members? No. So just think in terms of that you are sending this presentation to someone to present in front of a lay audience. And that's how thorough I want this assignment to be. And I want to reiterate that multiple times because I want you guys to be make the most points possible on this assignment. And I don't want you to lose any excessive points for something that I have discussed for you. And also, you'll need to have 3 peer-reviewed journal article or academic sources other than the textbook. And websites are not allowed as APA academic sources, so just keep that in mind as well. So it needs to be 3 other than the textbook. So, and here's a layout that you will create. So your first slide, of course, is your title slide. Your second slide would be a introduction to cognitive psychology, explaining the basic tenets and basic ideas, how it affects people, and it needs to be at least 5 to 6 bullet points. And as you can see, you'll have slides 3 to 5, sensation and perception, 6 to 8, memory, 9 to 11 is language, 12 to 14 is learning and problem solving, and your last but not least, you'll have your faith integration. And as I mentioned before, all these components, all these slides need to have a minimum of 5 to 6 bullet points discussing how the topic and specific examples that are included with these topics, and even personal effects or personal examples as well can be included. So I want to, there's a little bit of conflicting information. So here it says 5. So I believe that is probably more acceptable. So like I mentioned, instead of 3, I would like you to do 5. You just have to do a little bit more thorough information. So I will edit this, and I'll do that right now. I'll edit so you guys have the correct information. So I am looking for 5 academic journal articles. Hold on 1 second, I'll edit it. So yes, I did edit that. So like I mentioned before, there needs to be 5 peer-reviewed academic sources. Sorry about that. And if you're needing an example of what I'm looking for, I can send you over sample projects or things like that if that's what you're needing. Just feel free to reach out to me. But also here is the rubric that I will be grading on. It provides you thorough information of exactly what needs to be presented in thorough detail. And as I mentioned before, you need to submit it in places. You'll need to submit it in Blackboard and TaskStream. Blackboard it will be analyzing for plagiarism, so be sure to cite your sources and things like that on every single slide so you aren't dinged for plagiarism. And TaskStream is where the portal in which I'll be grading your assignment. So just keep that in mind. And that is all I have to say about the assignment. Like I mentioned before, if you need any more thorough detail or more thorough information, please feel free to reach out to me. And also, you'll also have your discussion board post that you need to complete for this week. All in all, that's all I want to talk to you about. I don't want to spend too much time, like I mentioned before, because you will have a major assignment due on Friday by midnight. So just make sure you get that done and meet that deadline. And I look forward to grading your assignments and reading what you guys have. And I hope you have a great week. Bye.